All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the David's Deep Dive. Every week I go to come at you, give you information regarding your life and business, how to improve both of those things because they're very important. And today we're going to go through some really cool, one really good topic. I'm going to share some stories. And it's going to be a short one today, but I promise it's going to be very impactful. So I wrote a book called Building Your Own Economy. Everything that I do in life today, regardless if it's in my personal or my business and professional life, is really to build an economy, which means something that is unshakable, my health, my wealth, building a legacy and living by values that will drive me to the future that I really want and build that economy that I definitely deserve. So today's topic is you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. Something I heard from one of my coaches a few years back, and it was one of the most impactful things that I've ever heard. And I didn't quite understand it at first. And I'm just going to take this off because I think this would be easier. So I heard this a while back and I really didn't understand what it meant. And this is really important to get because I was under the impression that I could figure out a lot of the things that I wanted to know or understand on my own. So I would Google a lot, I would YouTube a lot, I'd read a lot, I'd ask for some advice from friends and family, but I never really understood the concept of asking or getting information from somebody who's an expert. I didn't understand that. And even if they're not an expert, let's just say that, right? But somebody that has more knowledge than you in some areas, okay? And I didn't really get this. And recently, I've had the opportunity to coach several people. Well, I've been coaching people for a long time, but to coach some people that I really wanted to coach in a space, specifically in the tax industry. And I've been working with some other people in different business venues, different ideas, different things they're doing. And so I've had just this big aha moment over the last, let's say, I don't know, 4 months. And the aha moment that has occurred to me really was when I started to see that I was very good at understanding where people were experiencing problems and challenges and helping them to uncover those problems and challenges and to take steps towards the solutions or the solution or resolution of those challenges. Now, let me tell you what I mean. So it's really easy for us to see what everybody else is doing. It's like super easy. It's very easy to see where somebody's doing good and when somebody's not doing good. It's very easy to see what people are doing from a visual standpoint, from an execution standpoint, from what they're trying to accomplish standpoint. It's like looking at a child or your own child. You get to see where they're going wrong. You get to see where they're going right. You get to see what's happening, the transitions in life. You get to see all that. And if you've been through it or you know a little bit about it, you want to be a guide and you want to help people through that. And I've seen this so much over the last 4 months that it's starting to get I'm getting very clear on that more and more that I can't solve my own problems. Like it's so easy for us to see what everybody else is doing right or wrong. And it's very hard for us to see what we're doing right or wrong. I've come to this conclusion so far. And probably that might not be mind blowing to some people, but it's easy. You know, I was just on a phone call before I got on here that took me a little longer than I'd like to have, but it was a very good call. And it was somebody who I've been friends with since we were kids, and someone who had asked me or called me for some advice. And again, by the way, I don't, you know, I believe that people should pay for your advice, right? In most cases, right? And this person has done business with me and we're good friends, but we've both done business together. I paid him, he's paid me for his services. I paid him for my services, so on and so forth. So when he called me, I wanted to give him some advice, and it was very good to hear his story and where he was at in what he was experiencing. And it was cool that I could give him some insights. Now, the interesting thing is that as I'm giving him insights, I'm starting to uncover some of the things that I'm going through. Maybe I should be having this talk with myself. Maybe I don't fully understand this. Maybe I need to commit at a higher level. Like, it was just so insane. And so we're having this conversation and he's calling me because he's doing a new business venture, and he's trying to determine how he's going to finance it, what he's going to put down, how that's all going to work. And he's just calling me because he's like, man, I don't know. It's a lot of money, and I'm having a lot of trouble finding to come up with all this money and really understanding what I'm doing. And I have these partners, and I'll tell you what really occurred while he was saying this. I was like, so it sounds like you're going to do another job. You're going to do another job. And he goes, no, man, this is like an investment. I said, well, it sounds like you're working. And he's like, yeah, but I got to work just a little bit so that it eventually pay off. And I said, so you're actually focusing on something new than what you're currently doing. And he goes, well, yeah, kind of. I said, is the thing that you're currently doing still making you money? And he goes, it's still making me very good money. I said, so why are you leaving it? And he goes, well, I just don't want to do that anymore. So tell me why you don't want to do it anymore. And he elaborated on the things that he didn't like about what he was doing. And I said, but what do you like about what you're doing that you're trying to do now? And he goes, well, it's interesting. It's new. It's got a lot of potential. It's a, and I said, did you say all those things about what you were doing in the past? Did you say those at the beginning when you started your first career, if you will? And he said, yeah, I did. I said, the only thing is that you're forgetting to remind yourself of why you do what you do and how great you are. And I had to stop him because I knew him well enough. And I had to say, look, man, you're the best in the world at what you do right now. You're the best in the world. And don't let anybody tell you you're different than that, right? You're the best in the world. And because you're the best in the world, people need to work with you. They need to pay you. And you need to get yourself to a higher level in what you're currently doing. Because what you're doing right now, trying to learn this whole new skill, trying to find something different, is really taking a lot of energy, time, and money. And it's going to hurt the main business. And he listened for me to share this with him. And then he said, man, you're right, man. I've needed to hear this. Like, I needed to hear this. And I said, it's not because I'm trying to coach you into something that I don't want you to do, because it doesn't matter what you do, right? But the point being here is that we all think that we need to make a change in our lives. We all think this. Here's the lesson. We all think that we need a change to improve. But typically, we just need to get better at what we're doing. Does that make sense? Like, we need to get better at what we're doing. And we need to share with the world what we're doing. Until you dominate something, you should not leave it. Until you're the best in the world at something, you shouldn't leave it. You shouldn't try to shy away from something if it's making you money and you're doing good. Like, if you're in a position in the workplace today, whatever position you're in, and you're already like, man, maybe I need to look for a new job or a new company, or I need to look for a new idea. The honest truth is, if you're not the best in the world at what you're doing right now, then you need to get better before you could even think about going somewhere else. And you should go somewhere else with an investment activity, not necessarily with your work. You see, what you do is you work to make money so that you can use that money to do the things that you want and make investments that you want and get places that you want. And once you elevate your skill set, your pay will increase. You're going to see that. And for those of you, because I see some team members on here, you've seen that. I have never not rewarded skill set. And sometimes it may not feel like I reward enough, but the honest truth is, until I personally see that the skill sets have improved and that there's actual things that are changing in a company or changing in our environment, I can't really justify an increase of anything. Neither can you. Neither can you. And so I'm going to encourage you today, and just like I encouraged him, get really good at what you're doing. But it's hard. It's hard, by the way. It's hard. It's really hard to see what you don't see, what you can't see. It's hard to look in the mirror and call yourself fat, but other people can see you as fat. See that? Like, it's funny, and that's pretty, somewhat disgraceful or whatever, but it's the truth, right? It's hard to look in the mirror and call yourself fat. That's why I had a training this weekend with a group of business, and one thing I told them, I said, if you really want to do some real good self-evaluation and you really want to see yourself as you really are, I said, get naked and stand in front of a mirror and stare at yourself for 10 minutes. Get naked. Get in front of a mirror and stare at yourself for 10 minutes and tell me if you like it. I mean, you don't have to tell me. Tell yourself. Do you like what you look at? Are you happy with your appearance? Is there something that you would change? And if there is, then now it's time to make a change. The reason most of us don't make changes in our lives is because most of the time we won't even look in the mirror. And because we won't look in the mirror, it's like out of sight, out of mind. You can't see what you don't see, right? You can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. You guys get that? And because you can't see it, you won't make change. So here's the real moral of this. In order for you to elevate yourself, to get better at something, in order for you to uncover the unseen, you have to get advice and guidance from someone. If you're on a team, You should ask somebody who you really admire, or maybe your boss or somebody on your team, and say, hey man, tell me what I don't see. Right? If you're in a relationship, tell your significant other. That's a hard statement, right? If you're in a business and a partnership, same thing. Tell me what I don't see. Because typically everybody can see it except for you. Everybody can see it except for you. You know, when I was coaching that business this weekend, there are a few things that I could see that they couldn't see. They're just in it every day, so they can't see it. And it was hard for me to articulate that to them because it would be offensive without their permission. You can't just tell people what you really see until you get their permission. But you have to understand that there's a lot of things that you can't see and you need somebody to help you. Right? And you need to be willing. Now, the second part of this, you need to be willing to accept that help. If you're not willing to do it, then you shouldn't ask anybody. But if you're willing to accept it and make changes, then you probably should be asking for help. So if you are experiencing a challenge in growth right now, and you're not seeing the results that you want in life right now, you probably need an outside perspective from somebody who's going to tell you the truth and who's going to share with you what they see. And then you need to go see it yourself. You're right. You need to take an acknowledgement. You don't need to necessarily be, what's the word? You need to be accepting. You need to take the feedback. You need to not fight it. You need to just accept it and really take action and say, okay, if somebody sees it, then somebody else might see this. And then we need to make these changes. So I hope this has given you some insight. I know this wasn't a typical daily D 13 slides or something, but my goal here is to get you to start thinking about what you're doing on a daily basis, who can help you get better at that, why you shouldn't focus on another thing. You should focus on what you're focused on right now, and how you should become the best in the world at it. But you're going to need some help, and you should be looking for help from somebody. And this is an important part of the cycle that I've seen, that I've gone through, and now I see a lot of people going through as well. And once you get that, it really helps to change your life. Short but powerful. Thank you, sir. All right. So it is a Tuesday. As every Tuesday, we come live at you at 9 a.m. If there's anything that I can help you with, if there's a topic that you'd like to hear, if there's something that you guys could benefit from, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. I can always come up with a topic that'll benefit you guys. So thank you so much. You guys have a fantastic and amazing rest of your week. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.